On day one, we reacted to every single world record in Mario Kart World. And once again, we are back at it, day 7, 1 week later. And let me tell you this, these world records have improved tenfold. I could not believe my eyes while watching these world records. There's like 5+ new strats on every single track, it feels like. And I can't even imagine what these records will look like 1 year from now. But anyway, let's get into it. Without further ado, enjoy. I think I speak for absolutely everyone when I say, I cannot believe what this game has turned into after 1 week. We reacted to all the world records on day 1 and we were blown away. They were so good already. You had all of the best Mario Kart players from every single Mario Kart game playing Mario Kart World, just improving the records at a rapid rate. And 1 week later, a lot of them have gone down multiple seconds, some of them 5+ seconds. Oh wow, new strat already. There's gonna be like multiple new strats every single track. We're in for such a treat. And I think the whole reason they did that strat there was just to collect 2 coins. The first couple coins are more important than like coins 4 through 16, for example. So they wanted to make sure they got their speed bonus early and secured those first 2 coins as soon as possible. All right, and this is Mach Bike. I think this spiral is probably a big reason why. Just so smooth on the spiral, and we are seeing a second charge trick on 1 lap. Mushroom, charge trick, and then release right before the gap. Stick to the rail, and then look at this, look at this, look at this! A quadrillion front flips! It seems like that's a tech now, being able to front flip while you're going downward with your momentum to fall a little bit faster seems to be pretty useful. I think we'll be seeing that on a lot of records. So I'd imagine lap 3 should look pretty similar to lap 2. Oh, look at, he's messing with the camera angle. You can use the right analog stick to change your camera angle, and you can even throw projectile items whatever direction that you're holding it, and you can even do a full 360 with the camera angle. We've never had a Mario Kart have a feature like that. Super creative. Didn't expect Nintendo to give us like that maneuverability. That extra right trick they pull off on the rail as they're like wrapping around the red rail on the U-bend there, that's pretty difficult. You have to time that right, otherwise you'll fly off the rail. And these rails, like, they are not free. It may look easy when you're watching it if you haven't played this game, but there's a serious learning curve to it, and you gotta put many, many hours in, dozens of hours to be able to figure out this rail tech and be able to master it like Technical is doing here. So look at this, just domination. Absolutely beautiful world record. Toadette reigns supreme on Airship Fortress. Next track. Next we have Zay, and as you can see, the ghost below the world record is mostly gonna be the day 1 world record. There's a handful of them that I downloaded after day 1, but I tried my best to not watch world records this last week, aside from like a few clips I've been sent by other people playing Mario Kart World, because I wanted to react to all of them here. So I've seen a few things here or there, but we're gonna be surprised a lot today, and it looks like this record's gone down a couple seconds. So we know immediately they're gonna charge to the right and get a trick. There's just a little bit of air there, and it's not like Mario Kart Wii where like Nintendo designates certain parts of the level trickable and certain parts not. It's like if you get airtime in this game, you can trick. If you see something that you think is trickable, you can trick. Is that trickable? The answer is yes. Also, this is a beautiful run so far. We're gonna have to talk about the rope tech here. Okay, we're getting the coins, 2, 3 coins, and perfect line. Mushroom is gonna be on this last corner. It's gonna lead into the railing. I remember this from day 1. And didn't even trick off the first one, then here we go. That's a crazy trick, and you're gonna get to the right rail. Nice. They even did like a low trick on lap 1, but did it a little bit differently on lap 2. The coins will slightly change the strategy, but one thing that seems to be not changing is that these players are not going for max coins. Like I mentioned before, like with the coins on previous videos, the first coins are worth the most and the last coins are also worth the most. Shortcat has a video on this that's really helpful. The middle coins are worth less, although still helpful. So it's different than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Very interesting how they changed it up. One thing I'm gonna be really surprised about in these world records is how they managed to fit extra tricks on the railings during corners. That's always really impressive. Also, that turn is also insane, how they're holding it on the boost ramp, follow it down to the ground, and they're just full sending hard right, and they cut it unbelievably tight. I've never been able to cut that tight. Gonna have to learn this, and look at this rail tech, and the rope tech. This track has had such a glow up. I didn't really care for it that much in Mario Kart 7. I thought it was alright, but the daytime and then all of the extra shortcuts and routes, this is so good. Next we have 135.317 on Desert Hills by Grace. For this one, I remember the world record was like a 137. I must have accidentally deleted the ghost. So this one, even Desert Hills, a short track with not much going on, probably the most simplistic track in the game along with like Mario Bros Circuit. Even this track has gone down a couple seconds. What are we gonna see on Desert Hills? Okay, and we got the Real Racer, which is one of the coolest looking vehicles. I believe this kart has the most world records of any kart. It's not the baby blooper, even though we see the baby blooper used the most online. And I think, you know, speed is very important on time trials, but the other stats really matter online. So I don't know if the Real Racer is going to become the meta online. It has a chance for sure, but the baby blooper, we just see it everywhere. Okay, so nothing too crazy so far on Desert Hills. I think Desert Hills is hilarious because I don't think a single person had it on their prediction list for retro tracks returning to Mario Kart World. Like, they've changed it quite a bit. It's really cool. They've added those Easter Island like totems. Not exactly sure what the name of them are, but they're from like a previous Mario game 30 years ago. I'm not even kidding. So it's crazy to see them have something like that return. And there's a lot of references to old Mario games in Mario Kart World. Lots of charm in this game. Lots of charm everywhere. So we're on lap 3. We're not seeing too much new here, even though the time has gone down a couple seconds. This is an extremely important section to know where to trick off of the sandy, hilly section. If you do it wrong, you can lose a lot of your speed if you end up hitting a section that has a steep slope on an upwards trajectory. All right, and they don't use the water at all. Look at that. Next up, we have Whistle Stop Summit by Tyler, and this is actually the same player who had the world record on day 1. This record was a 157 or a 158. Like I said, I have some of these. I used to be deleting these ghosts, but I'm glad I didn't delete too many of them, so we can have it for the comparison. But I have the world record website up right now, and it says it was a 158, and then by the end of June 5th, it was a 157. So it's gone down like 4 or 5 seconds already. And what is he even doing? What is this? What is this tech? Oh my gosh. Sometimes you see things in these runs that are beyond you. What is this game gonna look like a year from now? This is 1 week. This is 1 week. What is this game? All right. Let's see what the second half of the lap looks like. It can't be more insane than the first half. Oh, that's a beautiful strat. I don't know if they were doing that before. I can't remember. So many tricks this lap. I've lost count. And going for the left side again. Let's see. So left trick, and then a right trick. The timing of these tricks is really important. And then a right trick, and then it's like your bike almost cannot get traction on the road, and then it just kind of like sideways, like perfectly curves around the corner back onto the railing. I don't think I've seen that on any other track. Maybe that will be like Whistle Stop Summit, like exclusive tech. Maybe there'll be a couple tracks that utilize that. Unbelievable. And that looks like a little bit of a scary trick. And what? Whoa, what is going on? Excuse me? We're only on like the 3rd or 4th world record. Oh my gosh, here we go again with that crazy thing. There's a lot on this run. This is the coolest run by far so far today. And they're all gonna be awesome. Wow. It's a really important strat to learn. Great way to practice charge tricks and like how to utilize them to your advantage. Some people don't really use charge tricks at all, I'm noticing online. Some people never take advantage of all the cool shortcuts you can do with charge tricks, but that's a good one to start practicing on. And yeah, I'm sure this world record is going to be even crazier a year from now, considering that's just 1 week of strat development. We have Kyle Wade, Mario Bros Circuit, 152, and even though it says 153 below, I think the world record was a 154. I remember I downloaded and watched this one a day or two after that first video came out. So this one's even gone down a couple seconds. This is like the Luigi Circuit of Mario Kart World. And don't get me wrong, it's better than Mario Kart Wii's Luigi Circuit, but you know, first track in the game, not as complicated. I'm sure we'll see a couple things. I mean, just look at the vehicle they're using. This vehicle, here's another charge trick. This vehicle is called the W-Twin Chopper. Interesting. I wonder how its stats compare to like the Real Racer, for example. And also, maybe it has some sort of driving ability on this like dirt surface that helps it, or maybe it's the hitbox of the vehicle that helps with certain like tech for the track. Oh, really cool. Green rail ride. I don't remember that. I'm just surprised to see this vehicle because I haven't seen this vehicle at all. I haven't seen it used online. I honestly didn't even know it existed. I don't even know all the vehicles in this game still. There's too many. All I know is the baby blooper and the Real Racer, and then the retro Mario Kart vehicles. And then, yeah, see, that trick right there. I've tried to get that. It never works. So maybe the vehicle having like a wider, or not a wider, maybe like a longer hitbox, you know, from the front to the back of the vehicle. Maybe that helps with something like that. And also, they get so much airtime there. When they left trick off that top rail, they like hit some object on the side and they kind of fling forward a bit, and then it lines them up perfectly for the rail on the ground. And then, yeah, the right trick on the rail, really cool. And then a left trick on the left turn rail. Yeah, see, these are the types of tech that are going to be just implemented into every single rail. You're never just going to ride a rail for like a long period of time without tricking. You're always going to find a way to stay on the rail, get a trick boost, and then, you know, just keep on rinsing, repeating that. All right, landing on the rail, getting that extra trick in, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Unbelievable strat. Yes, the world record on Wario Stadium has gone down almost 5 seconds from day one. And keep in mind, when I recorded the 2:10 time on Wario Stadium, it was already down 2 seconds from earlier that day. So it was like a 2:12 a week ago, a week plus a few hours ago. So it's gonna be really cool watching Wario Stadium here. And still can't believe they brought this track back. I thought it would be forgotten about till the end of time, if I'm being honest. Because, oh, whoa, you could go up there? I didn't know that. Oh, we're going on the right side? What, you go up there? I thought I knew all the tracks. You could, what? Okay, that's why the track's gone down 5 seconds. I need to go learn all of that, BRB. No, I'm kidding. I gotta watch all these world records first. And by the time I watch them all, I'm gonna forget half of these strats because they're all ballistic. Oh, look at this. Charge trick. Charge trick into load trick into front flip. And then they level out and they go forward. Something I need to learn is they're not like doing a right turn and a left turn. They're doing a right turn, they're evening out, going straight for a bit, then they're doing a left turn. That is so cool. There's even a hole in the fence, which makes me think almost like Nintendo intended that. This is mental! Alright, I think this is dethroned Whistle Stop Summit as the coolest shortcut and the coolest world record of the day, but we've only watched a fraction of them. I'm sure we'll see a couple more incredible ones. Look at this charge trick, and then they're able to avoid the big ramp so they don't get so much airtime. Remember, airtime is slower in this game. Despite all the airtime you may see, it's because the angles you can get with airtime are so unbelievable. Like, look at this. Look at this. Just skip this corner skip. And then, yeah, I never would have imagined this right rail to be better, but it makes sense. I always wondered how you were supposed to get on this railing here without a feather. I thought it was just like a feather strat. Oh my gosh, what is this game? I'm gonna be saying that a lot this year. This game looked so simple before it came out, when we watched the treehouse footage, when we watched people play the demo, when we saw the trailer, all of it. The game looked so simple, nobody ever could have imagined it would turn into this. Wow, Burger Toad popping off. Look at this, Alpaco. Over 6 seconds, 6.5 second improvement from a week ago. What is this? 6.5 seconds. I know a couple things on this one because I'm pretty in like tune with the shortcuts for this game. However, I didn't know the Wario Stadium one, so I'm starting to think I don't know all the shortcuts, and I thought I did. I really thought I had all the shortcuts down. I didn't think I had the lines and some of these low tricks down, but now I'm realizing there might be quite a bit I'm surprised about today. So can't complain. This is gonna be a fun recording session here. And we're style points to the max. Love to see it. And look at this, boing, trick. I love that strat. I was practicing that today, and I couldn't get it for the first couple minutes, and then I started getting it every time, so I might go for it online. We'll see. I could have just been getting lucky, because it is so cool. Of course, Bowser's Castle has like 2 incredible shortcuts. This track really reminds me of Mario Kart Wii a lot, just because Mario Kart Wii's Bowser Castle had so many cool strategies, and still even has a shortcut that's being implemented into world record today that used to be only 200cc, for example. That strat we knew about, of course. There's even a way more awesome way to do it, using the rail up top and bouncing off the sign, but it's a little faster to do it that way. Although the way that the world record is doing it, although less flashy, it's really fast and it's difficult. It's more difficult than doing the rail strategy I just mentioned. This is so satisfying to watch. Such an unbelievable like level of skill being displayed here, and I think this is probably one of the most time trial tracks by like top level players. I think everyone just loves this track, and the Bowser's Castle tracks in general, they're always like really sought after world records. You always have the highest level players devoting a lot of time to Bowser's Castle tracks. So this will undoubtedly be one of the most impressive world records we watched today. If you haven't seen it from a week ago, if you haven't kept, oh, look at these camera angles, it's so cool. If you haven't kept up with the strats of Mario Kart World, then yeah, you're probably just looking to get a Switch 2 right now, and looking to start no-lifing Mario Kart World like the rest of us. Yeah, it's been a good week. I don't think I've done anything but play Mario Kart World and record videos and edit videos and make thumbnails. All right, look at, he's even doing the taunt at the end with the claw. That's so cool. Yeah, so much fun to watch that one. All right, Terra Dry Bones Burnout. Looks like this one's gone down like 2.4 seconds about. So, I mean, we'll see some new strats here 100%. That's quite significant. It's not the longest track. And then we still have Wario. And look at that, the baby blooper. This is like the meta combo right now in online play. However, something I'm super happy to see is it's like every single character is being used. Like none of them are bad. They all have their different advantages. Some characters like even are faster on certain terrain surfaces than others, and I'm sure we'll dive into that a bit deeper in the upcoming weeks with character stats and hidden stats, so on and so forth. I really, really like this track. You could do that? All right, we're learning so much. We are learning so much today. I can't wait to do that. I was just learning this track, and now I have to relearn it because I didn't do that. I didn't even know about that. And yes, I learned this shortcut. I cannot wait to start doing that online. It's so satisfying. This game is just really flashy. I think it's going to be great for YouTube and social media and getting people interested in the game because, like I said, it didn't look like this before it came out, and the word of mouth will catch on. People will be talking about this game just because, yeah, this is not your average Mario Kart. Just if you look at the other Mario Kart games, like the world records did not look like this on week 1 or day 1. Look at that. That's an unbelievable strat. It's so creative. And that's what this game is all about. The more creativity and the more imagination you have, the more ability you have to discover strats and shortcuts, because that's kind of the approach Nintendo took here with these new mechanics. They pretty much like put it in the hands of the players. They let the players decide what would work and what would be faster. They just said, okay, like this is trickable, that is trickable, everything is trickable, have fun guys. Like pretty much made Mario Kart into a mod. Like this is like a mod I would download. Like, oh, you can drive on the walls, you can drive on all the rails, you stick to the rails. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. All right, and we're gonna see a delayed trick. It's like, yeah, they don't even trick when they exit the wall. They're like fully sideways. And this shortcut here is a must learn. It's actually not as difficult as it looks compared to a lot of like the Bowser's Castle ones, for example. So love that track. It's like an honorary Bowser's Castle in my mind. but it's called Dry Bones Burnout. I mean, of course I love it. Toad's Factory by Terra 153.680. And I remember world record, Terra had it with a 156 on day one. JP Givener also had it day one right before the 157. So, I mean, this is a lot of time shaved off for a track that was the most boring world record to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, every single world record displays an incredible amount of skill. But some of them, they don't take advantage of all the new tech and strats and opportunities that the layouts have, just increased. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought they were gonna go up top. Nah, we're not seeing anything fancy here. We're seeing just driving straight and taking the turns really tight. Haven't seen any wall tricks or rail tricks, and then see this shortcut, a really cool shortcut. You don't even take advantage of it because it's better just to use the mushroom at the same exact spot and cut it inside instead of having to go left and then right. You can just cut right immediately. Also, it seems like that might get pace locked because they're like barely able to get to that boost panel before it disappears. I don't know, or is it reappearing? I don't know, or maybe it's the other way around. I really, it happened so fast I didn't really get a chance to look at it too thoroughly there, but yeah, it just seems like that's one of the biggest challenges with the track. You have to hit that boost panel, and it's like it's either disappearing or it's just showing up. Yeah, that one wasn't as bad. They had a lot of leeway there. And then, I mean, it looks like there's definitely some soft drifting happening. There's 100% delay drifting happening. So what you'll see with these world records, this is like in every Mario Kart game, all the recent ones at least, and extremely prominent from like Mario Kart Wii onwards. Like it was in Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 8, 8 Deluxe. Like delay drifting means like you jump, and then after your vehicle is landing, right as it's landing, then you turn the direction on the analog that you want to drift. That way, you don't start turning before you're actually charging your drift. So you'll see every world record do that in every game. That's how you drive fast. Look at this, 2:07.403. Even this world record, Leanne went down by 3.2 seconds. Choco Mountain, what are we gonna see on Choco Mountain? What are we gonna see here? This track's not that complicated except for that bullet bill strat where you could just jump the whole entire gap and even over the railing. That's really cool. Besides that, I don't really know too much on this track, too much to be excited about, but we shall see. Okay, cutting over the off-road. And then mushroom on the big shortcut at the beginning. Choco Mountain's just so different. Like there's never been a shortcut there. There's never been shortcuts anywhere. This track is so open now. It used to have these giant, chocolate walls, just keeping it really confined. We didn't have all this awesomeness. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Kart Tour, they added a little bit of creativity and interest to Choco Mountain by having that like cavern section with a couple tiny off-road shortcuts. But man, they had a different philosophy with this game. They're way less restrictive. The off-road cuts are way bigger in this game, and then the gap jumps are way bigger, and Lakitu doesn't pick you up immediately when you go over any gap. And I think they started to change their philosophy with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, because the decisions they're making with that were so different than base game Mario Kart 8, and it really seemed like they were favoring a lot of like what the community wanted, so you'll love to see it. This is interesting to me. I mean, I'm kind of curious if this strategy of just ignoring the road and then taking the mud into the railing there, I wonder if this is something that can be implemented with like every vehicle. Like, is that going to be faster with the baby looper, or is it really just like this specific combo with Bowser and this Real Racer cart that are able to make it work? Because yeah, that seems like it saves a lot of time. And this is a track that I feel like I haven't really quite figured out online yet. And I always feel that way about Choco Mountain. It's always been one of my least favorites from the N64. I like it a lot here. Like, a lot of people are not happy how this track changed so much. But for me, I love it, because I didn't like it before. So now I like it a little more because it changed so much. Now, we're just gonna see some tricks at the end, probably some front flips. No front flips, just neutral. And then was that, it looks like a backflip. Okay, crazy. And then a couple taunts at the end, classic. Now we got Crown City. Looks like this one's gone down 2.7 seconds. at least. So this world record went down like over 5 seconds on day one. From like the beginning of day one till the end of day one. It was going down exponentially quick. It was ridiculous. Just new strats being implemented every second. All right, no railings, no charge tricks so far. This actually looks very similar to what we watched just, 1 week ago. And this part always scares me. This is a very narrow section for 24-player Mario Kart, I must say. We're gonna see anything here? Okay, this one is extremely simple so far. Getting shades of Desert Hills or Toad's Factory. Oh, we're seeing something! There we go. Oh, car trick. There we go. Okay, we're seeing something interesting. You know, these world records are so crazy that when they all of a sudden look simple, I'm like, Also, that was really smart. I don't know if you guys saw that. Charge trick onto the railing so they didn't have to trick up the railing and get so much airtime, because that's a pretty big incline right there, pretty steep. So very smart to evade that. And then the car trick with the charge trick was very unexpected. I didn't know we're gonna be doing that because I didn't think that would be faster. All right, so seeing some pretty cool tech so far, but nothing too extravagant. Although for those of you who know what's coming at the end, you guys are gonna love it. Big shortcuts on the horizon, and then we're gonna go in between the cones. In between the cones again, get a trick there off that tiny gap, and then they're just slightly holding down on their analog during the airtime there. Very interesting. I wonder what the glider meta is going to be, or the plane meta. You know, I wonder what it's going to look like. Is that going to be like how it is? Because in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's just bonkers. You guys have seen the Genzua glider. It's ridiculous. All right, here we go. Charge trick, railing, left trick, palm tree trick, land on the front porch, and then trick into drive straight. Didn't even need the coin. Look at that. 20 coins. 20 coins. Also, whoa, I paused the game and then Wario said no. Wario said no, we're not pausing the game. I've never had that happen. That was so weird. All right, DK Spaceport. We got play here, 132, 150. And we're gonna see a shortcut at the very beginning of this one. So do not go anywhere. The beginning is interesting, trust me. Even though we're not at the zigzaggy U-turn section on the minimap, the beginning will not disappoint. This is a very Mario Kart Wii-esque shortcut here to start things off. Mushroom trick, gap jump. Gap jumps were so prevalent in Mario Kart Wii. We saw it a little bit in the Booster Course Pass, but in Mario Kart Wii, everything's a gap jump. Whether it's a clip off of a tree or a pole or something with a spin drift, or it's a well-timed hop, or it's a TF input. All of these things just give you airtime, and Lakitu, you know, he never picked you up in Mario Kart Wii. You had to like hit the lava and then he'd be like, all right, I got you. Whoa, look at this tech. Oh my gosh, there's some sideways momentum, almost like the Mario Kart 8 mushroom bouncing tech. They're going sideways, they're drifting like to the right, then they're pulling to the left as they bounce. Definitely gotta learn how to do that properly. That looks like it saves a boatload of time. And I'm sure once you have it down, just like the mushroom pad tech in Mario Kart 8, then it becomes automatic and a must-do just to save those extra couple milliseconds. That's probably more than that. It could be like half a second on that barrel or whatever. All right, look at this. Just a straight line, not even taking advantage of the walls at all. This part actually disappoints me a lot because this is like one of my favorite sections just to go crazy. And maybe it's still worth it for me to go crazy if I'm using a lightweight, but Wario is just chilling. It's a very simple run. They're not even using the railing at the end, which really surprises me. They're just going straight. Very interesting. We have 128.8 Koopa Troopa Beach by Alberto, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe legend. Let's see what we have in store for us here. You know, I'm calling this track SNES Koopa Beach 2 because that's the name of the track in every other game. So we might see a shortcut. I did see something online. I don't know if it's used in the world record, but there's a shortcut on this track. And right here, okay, we're seeing some coin collecting. There's 5 laps here, so we're only going to be using mushroom 3 out of 5 laps. We got 2 shroomless laps. Looks like this first lap, yeah, first lap is shroomless. And you know, he's got to collect his coins first, and then burn all the mushrooms. Let's see if that shortcut I was talking about is used or if it's just an off-road cut. The shortcut was right here. Oh, they're going for it. Charge trick, mushroom, catapult, off the crate, past the off-road, back to the sand. Super bounce. The super bounce tech is for real. There's the, there's the regular tricks, right? We love ourselves some regular tricks. We have glider tricks. We got charge tricks. And then we have catapult off inanimate object that you wouldn't think is trickable tricks, and those are the best. And there's also some sort of trick stacking mechanism. Sometimes you combine like a railing boost with one of these palm trees or some sort of lamppost, and then you just absolutely go bananas. Look at this Mario Kart World, ladies and gentlemen. How many of these like compounding, stacked, boosted, inanimate object tricks are going to be discovered? What's the game going to look like? Are we just going to be flying in the air everywhere in a year? Probably. 218.2 by Zay on Peach Stadium looks like a 2.7 second cut. So every single track has at least a couple seconds cut, even if the strats are only a little bit changed. There's just a lot of discovery with rail riding and preserving speed. And then, airtime as well. Look at this. That was not in day one world record. That was really cool. We're probably gonna see that on lap 2 and 3. It's nice to see charge tricks not completely useless. One of my fears on day one, I was like, there's a couple cool spots to charge trick, but when I was playing online, when I was going through Grand Prix mode, it felt like charge tricks weren't that useful. And on the straight line sections, just charge tricking onto a rail and tricking over and over and over, like it saves a tiny bit, but you're better off just getting coins, like going and collecting coins and spending your effort doing that. So it just felt like a little underwhelming, the charge trick in general. So I'm really happy to see charge tricking still playing a part, because it was a really cool mechanic. And Nintendo, they got some tricks up their sleeve. Look at this double trick. And then there's even another railing there, but it's awkward. It kind of like brings you back to the main road. It doesn't like curve to the right. If it curved to the right, you'd be able to do a stringless shortcut. Also, I must say, boost panels in this game, extremely satisfying. I don't know what it is. You just feel like you just completely just, speed of light when you hit a boost panel. Like, you're just going Mach speed. And then, this is going to be really common in this game. Something that we just haven't seen in other Mario Kart games. It reminds me of like a custom track where you can just trick on the edge of nothingness. So these bigger vehicles with these big characters like Bowser, these heavyweights, I think it's going to be the way to go on tracks where you can trick on the edge like that, like on Mario Bros. Circuit and here on Peach Stadium. Because it's a pretty significant speed boost. You're getting a free low trick. There's a lot of low tricks in this game. There's just low tricks everywhere. Not going for the boost panel there, don't need the coin, cutting it inside, 3 for 4 boost panels, and then any trick here, yeah, gets a trick there. I wonder how difficult it is to do these tricks. It looks like you just have to have the majority of your vehicle like in the air, not on the road, and then click trick button, then just make sure you just get back to the road. Looks like they're doing like a side trick or something. Super interesting. I can't believe that's a thing in general. You can just trick anywhere in this game. I'm surprised you can't just trick on the ground. Oh wait, you can. It's called a charge trick. 159.998 by Jamie on Moo Moo Meadows. Look at this 4.5 plus second cut from the day one record. And it's not even the beginning of day one record. It's like midway through day one record and then midway through day 7 record is what we're comparing here. Donkey Kong. Very cool. Also, it's very fascinating to me how Nintendo completely cut out the wheelie mechanism of Mario Kart Wii, but then they decided that tricks are going to be everywhere, because tricks and wheelies were brand new to the franchise with Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart Wii brought these mechanics to the franchise. They loved tricks. Cool strat, right? They loved tricks and they hated wheelies. I will go as far to say hated wheelies, because considering how much people love wheelies and the fact they're not in the game says it all. I think Nintendo just didn't know how to balance these vehicles when bikes have wheelies and karts don't. But anyway, some really cool like me turbo into ramp, release, and then like hold the direction that the opposite direction that you're like you charge your mini turbo in initially. Like look at this ramp tech was in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's also back here. And then wow, wow, that's interesting. They actually released that charge trick super early. Like, they get really low air. It's such a cool strat. I mean, this track has a lot of shortcuts now. It looked really beautiful in Mario Kart 8, but I didn't enjoy how it played. And even in Mario Kart Wii, this was one of my least favorite tracks from playing it perspective. Mario Kart Wii, I love the tracks in that game. It's so much better in this game. Like, I wasn't really too thrilled that we were getting Moo Moo Meadows back, but I can't complain. So yeah, they're pressing right with trick in midair there as they release the main turbo. That looked like the best one out of the three. I don't know about you guys. That was really good. That was really tight. Got very far to the left. And it's so funny how you can trick off this. Like, what even is that? You could that looks like you should hit some grass, right? I'm afraid to trick over that. I haven't done that a single time online. And then this trick is very cheeky. Donkey Kong, ladies and gentlemen, it is on like Donkey Kong. 104.725 by Genzua. This is a record that I have already watched. Granted, the time was 0.1 or 0.2 slower than current world record, so it'll be pretty similar to what I watched, although you guys haven't seen it most likely. So you're gonna see a lot of cool stuff on this one. I know it's Mario Circuit, or Mario Circuit Remix is what I like to call it, because we got all 3 Super Nintendo tracks, 1, 2, and 3, all in one layout. Super cool how they did this, and look at this! This is like brand new, maybe a day or 2 old. Love that strat. And there's plenty more where that came from. We're just getting started with the charge tricks and the rail riding. Very difficult to cut both pipes. Cutting one, not too bad, but getting both pipes cut there, unbelievable. And then a double pipe cut again, doesn't even touch the pipe. Very, very strong. And then landing on the rail, getting the trick, lap 3, just like that. It's a short track, and look at this. We have 2 more things to pay attention to. That's the most difficult out of all of them. I've practiced all of these. I will not really go for that one online unless I have a mushroom. And then a hard left drift. Clip the off-road just barely. Mushroom here, just like Mario Kart Wii. You cut a lot less than in Mario Kart Wii. And then charge trick, and look at this. Into a drift. Oh! Just barely clipped the corner. What a cool run. You never would have expected Mario Circuit to look like that. 159,890 Nanu Acorn Heights. This has gone down a little bit. I'm sure it'll still be a fun watch. There's so many strats on this track. The fact you can get on top the off-road U-turn shortcut and do it shroomless with some wall riding, like on top of the leaf, that blew my mind. And I want to start learning that for online. Granted, I think for time trials, we'll just see the mushroom used there because I can't really think of any other spots used the mushroom. All right, they're still going wide for the coins. I'm honestly kind of surprised, but I guess it makes sense. Get to 2-3 coins as quick as possible. It's just pretty wide. It's a lot faster just to cut it inside. Look at this. What are they doing? What was that? I don't get it. They hit the ground and they bounced off the ground. That was some Mario Kart 7 shenanigans. What? I gotta see it again just to know they weren't styling. I'm locked in now, guys. I know I've been yapping, but we're locked in. Whenever we see something new that I didn't know, I can't just comment it. I gotta figure out what's going on so I can explain it. All right, I'm gonna try to figure out what's happening here. All right, get the purple, go for the rail, early trick, hit this very corner. Look at this. So up tricks, up nose diving, up tricks, and then what is this? They hit the ground and they keep going. Is this like specific to this weight class of characters, this specific type of vehicle? Also, very important, you will see a lot of left and right tricks being performed right before the ground whenever, you know, there's a player landing from a jump into a turn, because doing like a left trick into a left drift as you land just allows you to cut it a little bit tighter, and your vehicle will grip the ground in a way that allows that tighter angle, which you don't get when you're doing like a front flip like this or a back flip. What is this? It's like their front wheel touches the ground and then they lift off. How much time does that save? In the comments below, world record holders, if you're watching, how much time are they saving? Do I need to learn that? Like, is that important for online? Because, you know, we saw Crown City and the glider just went like, just like that. And then we watched Acorn Heights, and it was like watching Mario Kart 7 all over again. Super cool. Wow, we're still seeing new stuff even when the time's only going down 1 or 2 seconds. We got Boo Cinema. Looks like this one's gone down a little over 2 seconds. K4I. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe world record holder. I believe I recognize the name. Japanese player, I'm pretty sure. Boo Cinema. We're going back to the meta online combo here. We got Wario, Baby Blooper, and I'm sure the mushroom is just going to be used right away on this first corner. And my prediction is we're going to see some sort of wall ride at the end of the lap, because I've always kind of wondered why they don't do that. Are we going to see railing here? Okay, they're going for coins. We might see that railing strap being used on lap 2, but I don't know how they would do it because it's kind of an awkward strap. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, once again, we're doing it just like Peak Stadium. We're just tricking over the tiniest little gaps. I'm almost surprised they don't like get up to that, like, you know, edge right there and just try to get tricks off nothing. I mean, there's another one. Maybe you can't do it on straightaways. Maybe it has to be a corner for you to take advantage of that. All right, let's see what they do here. They get a trick off that? How are they getting tricks? Whoa! Okay, so they are doing the wall ride. Oh, and they bounced off the finishing pole sign. They're getting tricks when they're getting no airtime. They're getting just a quarter of a second of airtime, and they're getting tricks. They're getting multiple of them. It's not just one. It's like 3 of them. And then they're using these tricks to ride the walls. Wow. Ends up being a really cool world record. This track seems very popular. I almost have not heard anyone say anything negative about this track. I think people are just extremely pleasantly surprised with the creativity of the tracks. And also, think about it, we're kind of like comparing the tracks to the straight lines a lot, because that's what we have to compare them to with these beautiful graphics and new physics engines. So people are like, wow, the track's phenomenal. The straight line sections, pretty hit or miss, mostly misses. Nintendo, please give us an online mode where we do not have to play straight lines. The community begs you. Every single competitive Mario Kart player begs you. I still cannot believe they already banned every single straight line from competitive Mario Kart. It reminds you of the Super Smash Bros. Community, how they'll ban almost every stage right away for competitive. The Mario Kart community has truly turned into the Super Smash Bros. Community. Hilarious. And then we got, let's see, just more driving. Pretty cool. Just, oh, trick, and the tiniest little trick, and then no wall ride here, because I guess it's just faster only when you're bouncing off of that finishing pole on the right. We got Zay again with another world record, 221.6, defeating Gecko 225 from day 1. Let's check it out. I honestly feel, I would say, I don't feel as overwhelmed as I did day 1. Day 1, I had not figured out, or I did not understand the mechanics at all, especially like when you're on a rail and being able to trick off that rail and stay on the rail with all these different angles, and even just like getting used to the drifting radius and the mini turbos. Like, all of it was so foreign to me that it was hard for me to even understand these world records. Now I really understand what they're doing for the most part, and it's a lot less overwhelming. So I'm thankful for that, because when I was watching these a week ago, I just kept thinking to myself, I'm never going to learn how to do a lot of this stuff. But now, a week later, after no life in this game, I actually do know how to do a lot of this, and it just takes practice. Like, this game actually has a pretty steep learning curve at the beginning. Like I said, the wall riding, the rail riding, it is not free. If you go for it and you're just starting off playing this game, you're going to fall off the edge. That's just how it goes. Alright, Dandelion Depths, this world record looks so much better. This is a massive overhaul of strats, especially this beginning section. We're doing a left drift, and we're turning to the right. So tricking and turning to the right so we don't fall off to realign, but then still landing in a soft drift, what's it called, a slip drift, which is where you land in a drift instead of having to re-hop. So yeah, really, really good stuff. And then my favorite part of the level, ironically, is this water section. I think this part's really fun and really cool. You just bounce off the water, you do all these cool tricks, and I don't really care for the water sections on most levels. Like Wario Shipyard is my, it's been my demise this past week. It's been one of the tracks I've struggled the most on, but they really did the the water section correctly on Dandelion Depths for my taste, because you just drive straight. We don't have to do any turning in the water, and then you get to trick off some objects that are not in the water as well. So happy this world record doesn't just turn and trick and turn and trick without drifting. Do you guys remember that day 1? Like there was no drift at all. for like that whole section, and it looked really awkward, really unimpressive. And it was not like easy to do either. Like it was easy to mess that up, so it was still difficult to do. It just didn't look impressive. Now the world records, they look so much more impressive. I cannot wait to see what they look like in a year. I don't know how much they'll change in a month. We might wait till 1 year to do it again. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure. We might do this again in 3 weeks. We'll see. Let's see here. Calcare 204.725, and oh wow, this is over a 3-second cut on Cheep Falls. That's pretty significant. I'm curious if in the water section we're gonna see any wall tricks. There's like a whole nother path and route on the left before the mushroom shortcut that I've never seen anyone take advantage of. And I feel like it could be faster. Also, did you see that? You start at such an awkward position. You're just kind of on this tiny little straight perch. Oh, what? What was that? Oh my gosh, cool. Wow. Okay, I can't wait to see that again. I was not expecting that. But yeah, anyway, here on the left, you can go up there. There's a path up there, and it leads around the bend, and it leads into the shortcut. You trick into the shortcut. Super cool. You know, these players, they just end up completely beasting it on these water sections. So for me, I'm trying to avoid the water at all costs. So for me, I like that route, but I can understand it might not be useful. Yeah, it's so weird though. Look, I mean, you know, they hopped. The very first 0.1 seconds of this run, they hopped to get off that weird elevation point they were on. And I don't understand this. That's crazy. That's a big shortcut. I'm guessing some combos have some off-road invincibility, or not invincibility, but they're able to sustain a main turbo boost while in the off-road, while other vehicles cannot. So I'm not sure if it's character-based or if it's vehicle-based. It could be a mix of both, actually. Probably a mix of both. But that's really interesting. Like, I know I was using a Donkey Kong earlier with the, I think it was the Real Racer, and I was able to drift through the snow on DK Pass, and I was really surprised by that because I'm pretty sure I can't do that with dry bones. All right, let's see it one more time. All right, so, you know, blue main turbo, trick, and then wall ride into rail ride into left trick. And then they're not using this rail at all. I'm kind of surprised on the left they're not using that rail. I felt like that would have been a prime opportunity. Guess not. And then anything here, anything crazy? Yeah, it almost looks like there's a railing there. I see like, yeah, there's definitely a railing on the left. There's a green vine you can do something with. I think we're gonna see this track have more strat developments. I really do. I think this track has a lot of potential, but that was a really cool shroomless shortcut. And I'm so happy you can actually drive in the off-road without losing your drift in this game, even if it's just some combos. That's always really nice. Look at this, James over a 3-second cut from the day 1 world record on Faraway Oasis. You know, there's that shortcut that we still have to learn that looks really cool, riding the little railing on the right. I'm sure we'll see that, no question. And then, I mean, what vehicle are we on? Let me like go back and try to figure it out. It looks like it's the W Twin Chopper. This is actually the same vehicle that was for the Mario Bros. Circuit world record. So the vehicle that we did not recognize, once again, we did not recognize it. But it's not just used for one world record. Also, look at that. Quintuple front flip. I think it's, you know, when you want to fall faster and you're already in that downward momentum, that's when you need to just start spamming front flips. That's what it seems like. We'll see them here too. Okay. Oh, cutting it. Pixel perfect. And then, yeah, so they do the left trick before landing in a left drift, so they can cut it tighter. That's a prime example of what I was talking about earlier. And then getting that little trick, and that really helps propel them forward with the next ramp there. You see that? I think this vehicle helps with those little strats. I really do. Laying on the rail here. Oh, what was that? Oh, that was amazing. We're gonna see that next lap, or is that too difficult to replicate multiple laps in a row on week 1? Only time will tell. There's so much already. I cannot wait to watch the last half of this. Wow. Also, it's so nice reacting to these. There's only 30 world records. When I used to react to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe world records, it was like 72, and then ultimately it was 96 tracks by the end of that game's life cycle with the DLC. All right, that trick, such a cool strat. I'm sure that saves a lot of time because of the boost you get from the next ramp, just compounding off of it. Left trick, neutral trick, left, right. left, and then they even get like an extra little mini low trick. I don't, it looks like they're getting a little extra trick. I don't even know what's happening on top of everything I just mentioned. Yeah, this one's beyond me. This is next level. They even did like a front flip, back flip combo right there. And they almost fall off, and then they do the left trick into the left drift and cut this super tight. Wow. Look at this, 146.6 now for Dino Jungle. A week ago, you know, we had Shortcut with the world record, 150. Look at this, we got Enmead 149, but the leaderboard is just crazy here, 146.6. We're gonna see some strats here. World record was 150.3 by Frozen last time, and then Shortcut got it like just a couple hours after I recorded my video, which was really cool to see. Now we have Charging Chuck, and this vehicle, I should know, I think it's just the Charging Truck. Yeah, the Charging Chuck, Charging Truck combo. Iconic. What more is there to say? All right, double right trick. I actually might start time trialing because this is really cool. Although, like this just looks like, what are they even doing? Like, what is that? I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But like, what is going on? Like, how many tricks do they do on the dinosaur's back? Okay, and yeah, a delayed trick. A little bit of a delayed trick there as well. Looks like this vehicle can drift through the grass, which is key. Nice low trick between the geysers to finish the lap. And you guys are in for a treat, but I don't want to spoil anything. I was sent oh, what was that? Can you rewind? Ah, you can't rewind, okay. Hopefully we see it next lap. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Oh wow, they did a charge trick there. They threw in a charge trick. Seems like charge trick with mushroom is the way to go. That's like a legitimate strategy. You know, use your mushroom, start a charge trick, and then right when the mushroom runs out, release charge trick. Okay, watch this, watch this. I've seen this. Boing, and it wasn't even the strat I was expected. I saw a strat where someone bounced off the wall, so it looks like that's a faster strat. I'm using the dinosaur instead. Look at this. Right trick, right trick. Is it a full right trick? Are they tilting barely right when they're tricking? I don't know. Looks insane though. And then charge trick. Really cool. This world record's gone down so significantly. They did a really early trick there. Maybe it was because of the tail of the dinosaur. I'm not kidding. I think the tail of the dinosaur is why they had to do a regular trick instead of a low trick on that first gap there. Yep, that's one of my favorite tracks. No surprise. Wow. We have Para Biddy Buddy with the mock rocket, and the world record's gone down over 3 seconds here. This is gonna be the craziest one. You already know it. It always is. Great Question Block Ruins is a custom track that made it into the Mario Kart series. I don't know how it got past Nintendo. It's like one of the coolest tracks of all time. It just doesn't feel like something Nintendo would do. It's so unbelievable. I always forget you can trick off that little bit of off-road there. All right, watch this. More of that momentum, air bouncing, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe-esque tech. Okay, getting coins doing the drift, no charge trick. Hula hoop. Oh, okay, no drift. No drift, that's why we're using this combo. I was gonna say, this is a low speed combo. What are we doing? Now it makes sense. Can't wait to watch 2 more laps of this. This track looks amazing. It plays custom tracky, can't complain. And it's really pretty looking too. Look how beautiful this track is. Just look at that. Just take it all in. Okay, we're going right side this time. That's a lot harder than it looks. I tried that, and you always get put in a different spot when you go off that pillar. When you trick off of it, you're not always in that spot to line yourself up perfectly for the shortcut. I was landing in all different types of spots. Made it very, very challenging. 40-second lap. No mini turbo here. We're starting one and trick. And then we're fast falling. And that one, you just hold left and you trick to get that extra trick on the rail while you're wrapping around the bend. I do that one every time. Never had any issues falling off the rail, so it seems pretty free. it's a very severe turn. It seems like the very severe turns actually are easier to spam tricks on a railing in succession as opposed to the more gradual ones. This is so ridiculous. What a cool shortcut. What a cool shortcut. It was already the coolest shortcut in the game just about, and it leveled up from last time. Unreal. We have 204, 241 by Alberto once again on Salty Salty Speedway. We have a little over a 2-second cut. Pretty solid, and I'm curious if we're gonna see a shortcut at the end, because I know about the charge trick U-turn skip, but I don't know if that's implemented or if we're gonna just see the mushroom juice there, plow through the crates and finish the lap more traditionally like we saw last week. But yeah, you can trick off that, and then they cut the water, and then they're kind of like just riding the edge here. I think the water slows you down slightly, and then they spam 3 left tricks to fix their alignment. You have so much mobility in this game in the air. We've never had this much when it comes to movement options in the air. Mario Kart Wii had some mobility in the air. Very much appreciated. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had less mobility. And then Mario Kart World, well, it almost doesn't even feel like Mario Kart. I'm sure like Sonic racing games are more similar in ways like that than previous Mario Kart games. So we didn't see anything too crazy so far. I thought we were gonna see a charge trick at the end and cut the top railing off, but there's no other really good mushroom spot on the level, I guess, so there wasn't really a point in doing that. They also are not taking advantage of this right path, which has some coins and a glider. Even though it's not faster on time trials here, keep in mind like this vehicle just might have really high water speed. I'm sure it does. It seems like it does. And the other thing is, if you're taking the water route and you have to deal with everyone's items and stuff, that other path with the glider, you get to escape everyone, and you get a double box, and you get to glide over the water at the end. You get to skip the swervy section, you get to skip the open water section, you get to get a double box. Like I think that path, even though we don't see Alberto using it here on time trials, I still think it's really good online. And then that trick there, I never get that trick. I need to remember that's trickable. There's so many little hidden sneaky tricks in these world records. And you have the water bounces, a really cool tech. I think the water bounce was a genius idea by Nintendo. Honestly, you get a double water bounce there. It makes the water driving more interesting. And then I like how you can kind of use the walls to your advantage and bounce off the walls even to maintain your speed. We got 42 Kane cutting over 4 seconds here. Real Racer Bowser on DK Pass. I think we're gonna have some fireworks on this one. I have seen the shortcut, and I've seen the shortcut combined with the shortcut that I don't think the world record does yet, because it may be slightly slower, but you're gonna see a cool shortcut regardless, and you may even see a cooler one in the future. Maybe a month from now, maybe a year from now, who knows? But really interesting nonetheless. And trick, full bounce. I finally learned how to do that. Really fun. Cannot believe it's a thing. And then you can even get up there on the left. You can ride that railing. You can pull bounce again, get up top on the railing, and then trick off a wrench and then land on that rail, and then do this crazy double tree forest trick. And oh, did I mention it's shroomless? Yeah, you still have your mushroom. You just cut off half the map and you didn't even use a mushroom. That's great and all. And then look at this. Oh, actually, you know what? They didn't hit the wall. I was gonna say they hit the wall on purpose to cut it extra tight, but they didn't hit the wall that time. All right, so we're driving straight. Main turbo. Main turbo. I'm surprised they do 3 main turbos. I'm surprised they don't. That's snaking. That's like the closest thing we've seen to snaking in Mario Kart World. Triple main turbo, snake, snake, snake. We never see that in Mario Kart World. That's such a thing of the past. That's a thing of like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Bitty Buggy, Mr. Scooty World records. All right, ride the wall. It doesn't even get the orange main turbo on the wall, but wow, such a good angle, so incredible. And then here, very important, just trick off the first one. Miss the, not trick, go off the first boost panel, and then the second and third boost panel, you evade, and then you do a trick off the side, and you get way less air. That saves a lot of time. Remember guys, air time is bad unless you can cut a gap, or you can cut a really, really tight line. Like right here, the air time, it's not really that fast, but you're just cutting a pretty big gap, so it's worth it. And that doesn't save that much time, and it's pretty risky, so don't feel like you have to go for that one online. Granted, this one right here, if you have a mushroom, like for backup. I think this is a strategy worth learning for online. I'm serious. It's not as hard as it looks. I mean, it looks pretty tough, right? But it's really, you can learn that. You can get down the timings and the button combinations for it. There's much more difficult world records like the Bowser's Castle ones, for example. Beautiful run, beautiful. 2:16 by Isaac. This is almost a 3-second cut on Starview Peak here. So yeah, once again, most of the world records 2 or 3 seconds cut, and then occasionally there'll be a world record 5 or 6 seconds cut. I think they might just like trick over that tiny little gap at the beginning. I'm starting to like pick up on the strats here. A little trick off the gap. Oh no, never mind. They're starting their main turbo. Okay, they're gonna get a purple main turbo rather quickly. They're holding it. They're holding it. Why? Why did they hold it like that? That's really interesting. I would have never expected that. They hold it again. They held that one super long. Weird. This is why we watch the world records, so we can learn, because you think you know everything in this game, but there's just too much. The game's only been out a little bit. Okay, I've seen this one. Charge trick plus mushroom, and then right before off-road immunity runs out from mushroom, just catapult forward onto the railing. Really, really satisfying shortcut. Nintendo absolutely nailed it with the shortcuts in this game. So many creative, intended shortcuts. They've never quite done it like this. All right, let me try to figure out what's going on here. It's obviously something to do with the sloping. The track is extremely vertical here. It almost feels like anti-gravity is back in the game just for this track, for that section especially. But it's just weird. It's the only track where I've seen the player hold the purple Mii Turbo. Usually get purple on frame 1, and you know they get the next Mii Turbo starter. They go into the next sequence. They release that purple Mii Turbo ASAP. And this section's weird. It's like the Bowser's Castle section, like the Rainbow Road section. I think what Nintendo did is they like designed the open world, they designed the tracks, and then they're probably like, for these really, really massive, gargantuan, drawn-out tracks, they're probably like, we need a way to speed up these levels. So then they didn't add 200cc. Instead, they're like, we're gonna add some 200cc like sections for the parts of the levels that need it. So, you know, we have Starview Peak, we have Bowser's Castle, we have Rainbow Road. All of them have these like 200cc sections to them. Very interesting choice, but I mean, you can kind of see it, like the rocket boost coming out of the what's it called? Is it the Real Racer? I think this is the Real Racer, just different color, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at the blue like turbo coming out right there, the rocket fuel. And then actually holding up on the glider when they hit the mid-air boosters there. Wow. 156.9 by Kaname on Skyhigh Sunday. This world record was like a 159, I believe, when I watched it last week. We got Wiggler, and we have the mock rocket. Okay. First Wiggler world record. I wonder, does Wiggler have, oh, cool little strap. Oh, this is nice. That actually doesn't even look that hard, and that looks really clean. Does Wiggler have the same stats as Wario? Probably pretty similar. I think they're similar. They might not be exactly the same. Oh, charge trick. Oh, there's a lot going on in this one. There's a lot going on. Okay, I'm going to try to lock in and give some insightful commentary on lap 2. I'm just going to try to focus on what's going on. There's a lot going on. And it isn't ending anytime soon. We're still going here. Now, we're not going to see that crazy rail strat, I don't think, on lap 2. They're just gonna do the glider. Yeah, we're not doing the triple rail trick, like grab the coin thing. Already got 15 coins. Make that 16. Double trick, okay, and then the mushroom is just here, which is so funny. They don't even use the red rail there. And look at this is really interesting. They do a charge trick, and I think it's to skip that uphill slope. They get that extra air, they land higher up the uphill slope, which is slow. Uphill slopes got some weird properties like we saw in Starview Peak. And they're riding the railing through all of that. Really impressive. And then super low, getting tricks while on the vertical wall, and then just wrapping around so fluidly. You just can't believe it. Skyhigh Sunday. This was like one of the most boring tracks ever made. This was Baby Park with some ramps, and look at it now. Maybe Nintendo like took the criticism and they're like, okay, people didn't like Skyhigh Sunday, people made fun of this track, like we're gonna show them up, we're gonna make this like the coolest track. That's a really sick strat too. I always do that section really slow. You go over the top of that hill and then you get a lot of air and you fall slow. But they managed to like use the rail, get on top, and low trick off the top. And then all these shenanigans, these side trick, flip, you know, whatever. What is this game? 221.899 by Raph on Wario Shipyard. This was like a 225, maybe even a 226 when I watched it last week. So this is a huge cut. And it is a longer track, but we got the dancer here, the Pianta once again, looks like the Real Racer. Yeah, Real Racer again, and I believe this was Baby Blooper last time, 1 week ago. So, yeah, we're gonna see the shortcut here. Probably gonna cut it really tight now. Oh yeah, definitely better. Definitely more optimal. Okay, let's see what they do here. They're gonna go to the right. Okay, they're gonna go collect some coins. I wonder if they're gonna do this on lap 2. Probably not. Trick, trick, trick. Are we gonna see a wall ride right here? I've been seeing people wall ride on the right, so I'm curious if the time trial record does it. Yes! Oh, cool. Okay, so they don't take the top route at all. Aren't able to reach it. They do take the top route here though, which is cool. They don't take the top route up where the U-turn is. Nice to see the wall ride though. And then there's a really cool strat on the end of lap 3 for this run specifically. And then they're doing a left trick. You can see how much their vehicle jolts to the left when they release that Mii Turbo after the mushroom. And just, you know, sneaking in these tricks on the current, like this looks hard. This is gonna be one of those runs where people are gonna be racing this ghost and they're gonna lose like a second or two each lap just on that section alone because they're not gonna be able to keep the momentum from the current and spam 6 or 7 tricks. They're just gonna be trudging through the water at just a fraction of the speed. Wow. All right, one more lap, landing on the rail, getting that extra trick, slip drift, and another left trick. Yep, sets up perfectly. This is actually really cool. I really despise this track right now, but it's just mainly because I just can't play it. Like, it's this section that I always go so slow on. My bad, did not mean to pause. I have the back button on the Pro Controller is set to A. Accidentally pressed it with my middle finger, whoops. Okay, let's see. One more time, anything special here? Yeah, doing a triple trick actually. Wow, triple trick, super low air. And then I'm really happy to see this top route is faster because it's so satisfying. It's not too difficult and I want to avoid the water at all costs like I mentioned earlier. Look at this, look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm sure many of you at home did not know about that one. We got 141.836 by Jeff on Peach Beach. Day 1 world record 143.2, 1.4 seconds about. So actually not that much, but it is Peach Beach after all. I really like what they did with lap 2 and 3. Definitely adds way more complexity to the track. And I feel like Peach Beach needed it in this game. And there's already so many water tracks. It's nice not to play on so much water for this one. So lap 1, pretty standard. I don't think we're gonna see anything too groundbreaking. I do know one strat coming up that's gonna be really fun to watch. So, you know, max speed combo pretty much. Bowser, Real Racer. We've seen it before, we'll see it plenty more. This vehicle is like, I think gonna be the meta in time trials. Look at this. Off the fountain, double trick, amazing. Love to see the fountain being utilized in Mario Kart Wii. It was just to go around and get an item box, which a lot of people didn't even really take advantage of anyway. It was just something to do if you were raging and you needed an item and you had nothing and you just were like, all right, let me take this massive detour. Mushroom shortcut and bottom route. I really wish the top route, you know, the sides would be used more. We got some airtime here, not going for the ramp, just going for coins. Probably gonna head to the, no, not even gonna head to the railing, just gonna drop down. So really simple lines inside the town section of Peach Beach, but I mean, it is Peach Beach, so we kind of expect it to be a little more simple. All right, early mushroom and then a delay trick. And then another trick into a drift, super tight U-turn, and then now we're just making our way back to the regular track. And then looking at the town, the castle right there. absolutely marvelous. Get a double trick into a blue main turbo, and a little bit of showing off at the end. Look at this, Arjon 402.0 on Rainbow Road, and Diogo is less than a second off, and this record is a week old. So Rainbow Road is the longest track in the game, and it had the least amount of time cut off the world record from day 1 to day 7. Make that make sense. I thought this one would have 4 seconds cut off minimum. Look at these new strats. Oh wait, let me look. You know what? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the world record page here, and I must have downloaded Diogo's Ghost from the 6th. Okay, so yeah, 1 day after the game came out, June 6th. So the time I was comparing it to was June 6th. So the June 5th record was 4:05. Okay, that makes more sense. I was gonna say, how did Rainbow Road go down less than a second? But still, it went down less from a second from day 2 to day 7. So from day 1 to day 2, people were just popping off with the new strats. Okay, we're gonna see the shortcut coming up pretty soon. No cheeky trick here. Here's the shortcut. Not a difficult shortcut. That's a must-learn shortcut, I would say, for online. Cuts a decent chunk of time. And then, okay, what are they doing here? I gotta learn, like, the plane tech. Also, they're going really far to the left. Okay, wow, they kept so much speed there. These full speed combos are something else. Little wall trick, nice, and gets back to the main road. That's a really cool strat. I wonder if you could do a shortcut there on the left. Probably not really useful since the next turn is to the right. Looked like there was a shortcut on the left. Cut a little corner, rejoin on the rainbow path. We're gonna do a rail switch. Nice. Love that. Cutting the super inside despite the 200cc speed here. And yeah, I'm convinced, you know, Nintendo, they made these tracks too big. Bowser's Castle, Starview Peak, Rainbow Road, and they already committed to the open world, and then they're just like, you know what, we need to add some speed. Also, I'm curious, like, I wonder if that's faster. I wonder if he's just having fun with all these tricks, or if that's actually slightly faster. Oh, we're gonna see a trick here. Beautiful, really cool strat. Doesn't look too difficult. And then multiple main turbos on a corner. We don't see that too much. This is probably my favorite part of the level, if I'm being honest. Like this part right here. Really creative. I don't know if there's gonna be anything too eye-opening, but it looks so cool. You know, the Mario Galaxy-esque section is what I like to call it. Just some incredible level design. And you know, I mean, it might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, especially because I'm saying this when the game's so new and this track is so phenomenal. But, you know, I mean, there's some sections of this track that are really drawn out. And I guess that Nintendo was just going for something different with this Rainbow Road. They were going for all of the insanity from the newer Rainbow Roads, but they wanted to have that epicness that the Mario Kart 64 Rainbow Road had. It's kind of like the Mario Kart 64 and the 3DS Rainbow Road, Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road combined. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this one. But some of the sections are they're just really drawn out, you know? Like the track is beautiful, and I enjoy racing it online. But I mean, you know, there's a few moments, and I feel like it just, it shows up that way more than ever, like on time trials. Because on time trials, well, they dip down a lot right there. They're dipping down, and they're dipping, and they didn't go up. I thought they were gonna go up for a second. Shortcut? Nice, there's a third shortcut. But yeah, on time trials, you know, there's no like enemies or items to evade, so like you really do feel how drawn out the track is. And this is a very strange like last section of Rainbow Road. This is nowhere near the most difficult section, yet it's the last section. And I feel like Nintendo just wanted to have like some sort of like peaceful, epic victory lap of some sort, you know? Anyway, that is it for the world records. Day 7 of Mario Kart World, and the world records are they're just next level. Like, how can they get any better? I mean, they'll get a little bit better, but are they gonna get that much better? They can't get that much better, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll be back at this. Might be 3 weeks from now, but if the world records don't go down a lot, then I'll wait until like the 1 year mark, and then we'll compare the 1 week mark to the 1 year mark. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for daily Mario Kart World uploads, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.